Junior, I asked Coach Leach about this too. You guys were substituting early and often today, using a lot of guys on defense, and seemed to keep y'all fresh, and you guys were able to get a lot more pressure today than previous games. What'd you think about the rotation and how some of the reserves did today?
I think they did really well. That was the game plan, to get a lot of young faces in the game and just execute playing fast and physical. So they played well.
Junior, 4 pick sixes now for you in your career. I mean, what do you feel like's been the difference for you that you've been able to take that back to the end zone?
Just being able to catch the ball and just be able to go score. They're just something that we look forward to in the corners room, and that's why we call ourselves takers. So, yeah.
Speaking of the corners room, you guys ought to have a good time with film, with you and Decam both getting in the end zone. I mean, how important is it, for you guys to kind of turn defense into offense at times?
It's really big. It's a real big momentum thing, but I'm sure we have something to work on in film. We're looking to get better this week.
Coach Leach had said that he felt you had come close a few times to blocking field goals this season. I guess, what did you maybe see on that play today? How were you able to get there? Maybe, and did you get the sense that you were getting close on some of them?
Just been practicing all week at practice. So when I got my chance, I just took advantage of it and blocked it.
How much did that play, do you feel like, change the momentum and the outcome of the game?
It was a real big momentum change. It's like offense just got a turnover. Defense, we had to come pick them up, and we did.
Bookie Watson's obviously one of the leaders on your defense, and he gets ejected for targeting today. But you guys didn't let that bother you. You flushed it, and you stayed competitive on the defensive side. What does that kind of say about you guys as a team?
On defense, we go by next man up. So it was next man up. He did his job, and just looking forward to keep getting better this week. Hopefully, Bookie will be able to play.
Coach Leach mentioned that after you blocked the field goal, you threw some blocks in there, like running back to free up the touchdown. Talk about, how you didn't give up on the play and kind of what the reaction was back in the huddle, knowing that you didn't just block it, but you ran back on the play and followed through with that effort.
I seen Decam pick it up, and I just wanted to go have fun with him in the end zone, so I would do anything to help my brother out.
Just speaking on Decam, I mean, he's been thrust in there as the other corner. How much growth have you seen from him in the last couple of years? He got in there a little bit last year, but this is kind of a different story being that starter this year.
He just waited his turn. We all knew he could play, and he had to wait his turn to get in and show everybody, and that's what he's doing now.
Between you and Buki and Colin Duncan, I mean, you guys all forced some pretty big turnovers and some key stretches. I guess, have the three of you and maybe some other players that are older and more experienced kind of taken upon yourselves to maybe help some of these younger guys and provide, big plays when the team needs it?
Yeah, it's a part of a leadership role. Guys that has played a lot of defense in the SEC, and we know how big a momentum thing is, so we just take it upon ourselves to, when offense can't do something, we'll try to take it on ourselves to get a turnover, change the momentum in the game.
Dominant defensive performance for y'all. How can you guys kind of take this and build on this moving forward, do you think? And what can that kind of do for y'all's confidence moving forward in this schedule?
We're just looking to get better each and every week and go 1-0 each and every week.
Robbie had mentioned that being your fourth pick six. I think it's your first since 2020, I guess. Have you kind of been itching to finally get one there?
I just play one play at a time, and when my time comes, I just took advantage of it and found the end zone. Thank you.
Oh, snap.
Dylan, you are playing behind two new starters technically at those positions. Nick slid over to left tackle and Steven to left guard.
Yeah.
Those guys seem to open up some big holes for you guys tonight. I mean, what did you see from your offensive line, and what was kind of the key to success for that running game?
They were just moving bodies, man. I got a lot of confidence in those guys. Every day we go out, and, we've been practicing on running the ball, getting better at running the ball. If y'all can tell that we run the ball a lot more. So, Coach Leach preaches like, if we continue to get 5-6 yards, we're going to continue to run the ball. And tonight the run game was great. I think we had over 100 yards as a group. So that, hey, we give all the credit out to the O-linemen, man. They were making some good holes for us.
Dylan, you guys kind of, obviously it was a slugfest the first 15 minutes or so, and neither offense could kind of grab momentum. Talk about the job the defense did to keep you guys in the game and to keep giving chances early on.
I've been trying to tell people, I feel like we have one of the best defenses in the country. I mean, those guys go out there and they battle their, butts off, man. And I give those credit to those guys because they make big plays for us. And I just continue to praise them, man. Them guys, like, people don't understand those guys are good, man. Those guys are good. So big shout out to the defense, man.
A&M's kind of been more of a running team, much more so than you guys. And last I checked, you guys had outrushed them tonight. I mean, what does that say about the versatility of this offense, and also too about facing those three-man fronts?
I mean, people gonna have to respect us. They getting a three front, so they really don't respect us running the ball. They're more worried about the passing. So, what I mean, we just trying to go out there and do our job, and O-line did a great job of opening up lanes for us running backs to do our job, and we just went out there and tried to make guys miss and make plays.
Dylan, the defense was on the field pretty much the entire third quarter. How important was that drive towards the end of the third, beginning of the fourth, capping with your 1-yard touchdown run? How big was that to keep them off the field, get them rested, and then extend the lead?
I mean, it was big. Those guys were tired. They were tired. We were trying to bring the energy. We were trying to get the crowd into it, because, your adrenaline going, everything's moving fast. So we just trying to keep a calm head with them, tell them, hey, keep going, keep competing. We had fresh bodies coming in and out. Man, let me tell you something. Big shout out to JP Purvis. That boy balled out. But, man, hey, big shout out to the whole defense, man. They did their thing, man, for.
Just how good does it feel to be able to run the ball more this season, and how much of that do you think is due to how well you guys have been running it?
I mean, it feels great. I mean, every running back wants to run the ball. Like when we get out there, and they moving bodies and we're getting yards, it just builds confidence for the whole offense. It opens up the whole offense. As you can see, we had a whole bunch of passing yards, we had a whole bunch of rushing yards. But like, when we're able to be two-dimensional, we're a great team. Oh, for real? Wow. That's crazy. I don't think we reached that before.
Second time in the league.
For real? Damn. Okay.
You mentioned some of those big plays that the defense made. I mean, what's it like when you see, veteran guys like Buki, Forbes, Colin Duncan, the guys that are coming up with big plays? I guess, have you seen kind of them take a step up in terms of leadership on defense?
I mean, they've been doing it for 3 years. I mean, I've been here for 3 years, and I've been seeing those guys go out there and perform at a high level. So I'm used to seeing it. I mean, I see it at practice. I know what those guys are about, and those are big-time guys, and they're going to go out there and compete and do their jobs because, they're leaders, and that's what they do.
Hi, you mentioned wanting to get the crowd into it. What does it mean to you guys as a team when the crowd is involved in the game, and how does that affect your guys' play? I mean, everybody's attributes go up. We feed off the fans, we feed off the energy from the crowd. It makes us, play harder, play faster. So definitely a big shout out to the fans too for coming out and supporting us.
Even though you're not on the field at the same time, how good does it feel to outrush a back like Devin Eshane as a team? Oh,
it felt great, man, because he's a hell of a back. Excuse my language. He's a great back, man. And as you can see, he had over 100 yards rushing, man. He was doing his thing. And it's awesome to watch him play the game of football. So definitely a big shout out to him.
Did you see Coach Leach running down the sideline to get that timeout at the end? What'd you think of his speed?
Hey, his speed look all right, man. I done seen him high step a little bit at practice a little bit, man. So he been working on it. He been working on it a little bit. All right, perfect. No problem, man.
Decam, you're really taking advantage of your opportunity, it seems like, this year, and had a big game today, led the team in tackles. I mean, how far have you felt like you've come in the last couple of years?
I came a long way since I first got here. coming in. When I first came in, I was real raw, so I came a long way.
Decam, Coach Leach mentioned, you used the right method to kind of pick that block field goal up. A lot of guys panic in that situation. What are you thinking in that moment, and then how excited were you to realize you had green grass in front of you?
I mean, we practiced that in practice, so I just brought it to the field, and when I got it, I was happy. Remind me of the old days at running back.
Decam, you guys brought a lot of pressure today. The D-line, front seven, really got a lot of pressure. Obvious question: how easier does that make y'all's job in the secondary?
It make it a lot easier because getting that pressure, the quarterback got to get it out, so it make it real easy for us.
Leach was talking about how great you guys played defensively today, and it's not like it was chopped liver. It's a top 25 team that you guys played that well against. What does that kind of performance, and what does kind of your coach's confidence in you do for y'all's confidence, you think, as a unit, and what can that do for y'all moving forward?
I mean, we just come out and play. We prepare all week and just come and bring it out and do what we got to do, get a W.
On the return, I think you kind of ran into DeMonte there. Did you see him pointing toward the end zone trying to tell you where to go, or was it all kind of a blur when you were returning that ball?
Nah, I ain't even see him. I was trying to get to the end zone.
What was that moment like, just that return and just trying to find green grass like Steve mentioned?
It was everything. Just got the ball in my hand and trying to get in the end zone.
What was it like for you, later in the game to see Forbes get a score of his own? It's been since 2020 since he's had the last pick six.
It was real good because he had a goal he was trying to get to, and he reached his goal. I was real happy for him.
When you were returning that, Emmanuel Forbes gets the block, and then he's also throwing blocks to free you up to get into that score. What would y'all talk about, when you met in the end zone and then on the sideline? What was that interaction like after that play was over?
It was good. There's a brother, and two brothers just having a good time out there.
Obviously, you guys lose Buki there in the third quarter with the targeting call. I guess, how did you see kind of the linebackers respond, after losing obviously an experienced player there in the middle?
It's the next man up. He gonna be back next game, but just next man up, come in and do what they got to do.
Will, back here.
Sorry.
That's all right. Just talk about your play of your receivers today. Rara had the big numbers, but the play of Justin and Rufus and the guys that really kind of were possession guys for you today.
I thought they did a great job. I mean, like you said, all the way from Rara all the way down to J-Rob, who hasn't played as many snaps. I think it speaks a lot for the coaches, Coach Spurrier, Coach Hollingshead, for how they prepare guys to get ready to play in this system.
Will, I feel like I probably already know the answer to this one, but I mean, the last couple of weeks, you really elevated your game. I think you're at 19 touchdowns now on the year. What's kind of led to, this kind of upwards trajectory that you've kind of had recently and also this season?
I mean, honestly, it just starts in practice. I mean, I think after the LSU game, I think it kind of just lit a fire in this group, and I think that we've practiced way better, we've practiced way faster. I think that's translated over to Saturdays.
Coach Leach said that you guys were a little tense in the first quarter. How important was that fumble recovery to get that momentum back and kind of light a little bit of a fire?
Yeah, I mean, we're just stopping ourselves kind of with penalties and false starts, and I have a lot of respect for their defensive coordinator. He was at Ole Miss last year, so we kind of had an idea of what they were going to do, and it was kind of the first true drop 8 that we really saw this year. I think they do a great job of preparing, and he did a great job for preparing against us. So with all that being said, you can't get behind the sticks against those guys. You can't get in a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 12. So that's kind of what happened in the first quarter.
Will, pretty clean sheet for you tonight too, but your offensive line did a pretty good job keeping you upright. What would you kind of say about their performance tonight?
I thought they did awesome. With Dollar Bill going down, I think we had a great week of practice, and I think that those 5 guys practiced really hard. And then with Steven coming in at left guard and Nick bumping out to left tackle, I think they did a pretty smooth job transitioning over. So credit to those guys.
Mike said you've gotten better with timing, getting back on balance, stuff like that. Where have you seen improvement within yourself lately?
I mean, honestly, just like more consistent, and it's something I really work hard on with Coach Tinsley, and I think we do a great job of that. Just footwork, things like that. Kind of going through every situation that we're going to see. Throwing the ball on time, throwing the ball to the right spot. So it's something I work hard really on, and a lot of it is footwork.
Will, there's a couple close calls that you had there in the first quarter that were close to picks, and then after that it was pretty much lights out. Was there any adjustments you made or anything you saw that A&M was doing that you kind of took from those mistakes and turned them into the great game that you ended up having?
Not really. Just kind of getting to the game a little bit. When the game starts off, everybody's tensed up, excited. Probably shouldn't have thrown a couple of those, but, it is what it is.
You talked about Steven Lasoya briefly there. I know he's been working at center some, behind Q, but what have you seen from him in practice? And can you just speak a little more on how he's performed the last 2 weeks at guard?
Yeah, I think I kind of said it last week when I said that guys like Steven and Nick are able to bump around. They're guys that, I guess their body type is just kind of, they can go from center to guard or wherever they need to go to. I think it speaks a lot for about the guys that we recruit and bring in. The guys that can really bump around, play multiple positions, and, do whatever they need to do for the team to be successful.
Here in year 3, you're very comfortable checking and making the plays you want to see there.
Yeah.
How much more comfortable are you checking now into the run game, especially the way these guys are producing?
Pretty comfortable. Anytime that those 2 guys get the ball, I think we got a good football play. So, it's something that something I've studied a lot, and it all comes down to situations, when to check run, when to not, when to keep the regular play on. So, it's something that I've worked on, and, I study every week and when to check run and when to not. So.
Obviously, a couple years ago, A&M came in here and beat you guys by a couple of touchdowns. What's it meant, for you and maybe some of the guys that have been around these 3 years to, respond and have 2 wins both times with A&M being ranked?
No, it's big. I think it speaks a lot for this program. We definitely took a step tonight in the right direction. We're not anywhere close to where we want to be yet, but like you said, to beat a really, really good quality opponent, a really good football program 2 years in a row, I think it speaks a lot about our football program.
When the defense is making big plays, how does that motivate you guys as an offensive group to kind of match that kind of intensity?
We're one big team. It's not offense, defense, or anything like that. The defense played phenomenal today. I thought the way they got takeaways, and obviously the block punt was crazy. But, anytime that the team is making big plays, whether it's offense or defense, I think we all just kind of feed off each other.
Will, 19 touchdowns, racking up quite the charity donation. How's that feel, getting that? And do you have a goal now, getting further in the season that you're trying to hit?
It feels good. It's always, like I said before, it's cool that I can do something like that to a great cause. But no, I don't know that I'm thinking about it when I'm out there inside the 5-yard line or anything.
Can you take us through that sequence with the Caleb Ducking touchdown, what you saw on the first pass that went incomplete and what you saw to go right back to it?
Yeah, so last year when we were playing Ole Miss, they were kind of taking away the inside. They don't really want you throwing anything that goes in breaking routes. So I kind of peeked out there and I saw that the corner was just inside leverage, kind of the same way that they were doing last year. And I just put a little much on it, that first fade. And then come back to the next play, and, I saw they were playing man, so I gave him another chance. Except this time when he did his release, you could tell that the DB kind of knew it was coming. He tried to cut it off. So I just kind of threw it right on his back ear, and he did the rest.